One of the most productive moonshine stills in Kentucky was on this property right here.
We get a lot of work done on the property this afternoon, but it is not without incident.
And I end up with a trail surface that is just this mulched up, ground up.
Our plans get a little derailed by the fun of running the Baumalight mulcher.
I just told my buddy this was more fun than mowing. There's my rescue man. And he's looking at me like, what in the world are you doing running around without your shirt on out here? Goodness gracious, about to bust my shocks.
Be sure and stay tuned to the end where we share an exciting find.
Well, hey there, hobby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peak's Peak. My name's Lucas, and we're about to get into something that we haven't done in several months. I have been busy building this house. It took me and my son Caden 2 months to get this house under roof. And in those 2 months, I have done nothing to maintain my property. I mowed the yard a time or two, got my son-in-law to mow the yard a time or two. All of my trails are growing trees, my fields are growing up, the weeds are growing up around the pond. Everything's a mess, and I've got to fix that today. So we're dragging out a piece of equipment we haven't used in a while, but I think you guys like it, and that's the Kubota BX with the 4-foot Land Pride rotary cutter. It is perfect for our trails and all of that, so I'm actually going to do most of my mowing with the Kubota and not my big TYM tractor. I've got the mulcher, and I may open up a few areas with that mulcher a little bit later. We'll see how the week goes. But what I've decided is I got this house under roof to where it's not gonna rot down on me, so I can spend a little bit of time working on my property. So this week, I'm gonna spend the whole week doing property maintenance, getting things cleaned up and looking nice around here again. Let's get to work. I got one pass done, and it does look a lot better, but there's still a lot of work to do in the wood yard to make it look decent. I do have a new tool that I'm gonna share with you guys. I have always been a steel man, and I've been through 2 steel weed eaters. I've got mostly steel chainsaws, but I bought a different brand of string trimmer that I'm trying out, and so far I'm liking it. So I'm gonna tell you guys about it a little bit later on as we get into running the trimmer and cleaning some of this up. I also plan on having a video here in the wood yard where I clean up my slab pile. I will cut up the remainder of the slab pile and fire up the split fire 2265 and run it, because I've been missing that. I love running that splitter, and I haven't had an opportunity to run it in a while. I got a lot planned for this week. I don't know if I'll fit it all in or not, but digging everything back out, man, it doesn't take long. We had such a wet spring that it doesn't take long for everything to grow up around everything you own. So I paused on all of my hobbies to build this house, and they're all getting buried. So slowly but surely, we're gonna get them dug out. On with the show, because I've got fields to mow, I've got a pond to mow around, cabin, got all kinds of trails. I ain't gonna get this done tonight, I can tell you that. I think that's about all I'm gonna get done tonight. I've been at it for, I don't know, probably 4 hours, close to it. 3 anyway. I've got most of the main areas done. I've got lots of trails to do. The motocross track was grown up like beyond repair. So my hay bales are, you know, I've got weeds growing up beside them. Gonna be a lot of weed eating to do. Man, it's just a mess, a mess. But hey, the old Kubota BX with the Land Pride rotary cutter is a beast. It's exactly what I've always said it was, and that is it's invaluable to our operation here. Does a fantastic job. I don't want great big wide trails and everything all opened up. I want woods, and I want everything kind of kept as tight as I can for all of my trails. So I don't want a great big old bush hog and a big old tractor going through the woods. And that's where this thing shines. I love it for that. And there are some areas where I would like to have a bigger bush hog to run, but I don't know that I would fool with hooking up 2 different bush hogs to do those separate areas because it's not that much mowing. So the BX does it, even though I've got a bigger tractor. Everybody wants to say, get a real tractor. Well, I've got a real tractor and it's good for what I use it for, but so's this. All right, well, I'll be back at this tomorrow night and we'll see how much more we can get done. I'm gonna go eat supper. I am back up here and I've parked the Kubota. Now, I did go ahead and mow the rest of the trails, and I didn't film that simply because I had already captured enough footage of me running the bush hog on the Kubota. And it's time to switch machines because a couple of my trails, you'll notice the canopy has grown in so tight that you can barely get through them. So I'm going to take the mulcher and I'm going to widen them out just a little bit. Now, not most of the trails, because most of them I want to keep them small and tight, but I have one main trail down below the house that is getting so tight that I probably can't get the side-by-side through it, and I kind of want to open that up. Plus, kind of want to play with the mulcher just a little bit. So we're going to get the TYM and the Baumalight mulcher out there and see what kind of damage we can stir up. All right, now I'm letting you guys in on a little sneak peek of the future, because this trail that's going through the woods here, we had a small trail here that leads over to behind the cabin. But the way that we get to the pond and the cabin right now with our vehicles is we drive out through the kind of the open field area right next to where I want to make pasture. And I'm going to be fencing all of that off once we get moved up here, and that's where I'm going to put my barn and my cattle and all of that over, because the neighbors have some fence that I can tie into and use for one side, and I can kind of finish the fence row on down and tie it all in and bring the fence all the way down near the pond, and I'll have plenty of pasture area there, a place for a barn, and enough room to run a few head of cattle. But if I fence all of that in, it blocks off our way to get vehicles to the pond efficiently. So I am widening this trail through the woods so that we can drive at least the side-by-sides, if not full-size vehicles, through here. And that's the beauty of this Baumalight. Basically, I don't even have to drag the chainsaw out. As long as I can pick a path that has small enough trees, like 4 inches or smaller, then I can just back over them and mulch them up. And I end up with a trail surface that is just this mulched up, ground up dirt and bark and mulch. It's awesome. So I think I've got a shot here of getting through here to the trail. I'm trying to figure out my best path. I think I see a pretty good shot here. I've got a couple of trees that are going to push that 4-inch mark, but I think I can get through them. And let me look here. Yeah, if I can get out to here, then I'm golden. I've got 2 options for which way to go. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. This will bring me right in where I want to be. So I've got a plan. Now it's just really, there's just those few trees in the beginning that got to come down to get through there. And I've got a nice path that's not too crooked, so I should be able to drive full-size vehicles right on through. I got through the hard part, and man, here's how you know it's hot out here. We're set up in the shade, complete canopy, and my camera's still overheating and the screen's shutting off on it. But the TYM is working hard in the heat and the dirt and still just purring like a kitten. I'm real happy with it. I'll tell you something else. Not only am I thrilled with the Baumalight and the mulching job that it's doing, but this lever right here that Jake sent me from the tractor yard, you know, it's meant for like hooking up your implements and stuff, but I found that where you operate this in reverse, it is such a lifesaver because you can turn around in the seat, reach right over the top, and you can control this with this lever right here. Man, it works good. So we've got just small trees through here to get the rest of the way out of here. So we're gonna knock this out. We're gonna get this whole trail through here. I'll be able to drive the big tractor through here. That's awesome. So it's going to take very little work to have this opened up to where I can drive the truck all the way through here to the cabin in the pond. I've got a few overhead branches right here. Obviously the mulcher can't reach up and grab those. And maybe drag the land plane through here. I got a couple of little dips. But I want you to look at how open this is. A few more branches right here. And look at the surface. You ain't doing that with a bush hog. This is a nice trail. This is some dirty work though. Well, I just told my buddy this was more fun than mowing. It was more fun than mowing. But I wonder if I can get that sucker back on before I lose all my fluid. It's hot. Shoot. Have the right tools with me. Hot, 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 hot. Man. Almost got it. Just cannot get it on there. Ah. Ah, hot. Got it. Now, unfortunately, woo, man, it's hot. Unfortunately, I know I've lost too much fluid because the reason I knew something was wrong is because it wouldn't steer. And then I lost forward pedal. Pretty snug. I think that'll hold it. Well, got about a gallon of hydraulic fluid on my shirt and 3 or 4 gallons on the ground. We got her stopped finally. All that happened was one of these branches got up there against the metal hose and flexed it enough to pull the rubber boot off where the filter attaches. But this is why I was saying you need some guards under your tractor if you're gonna run one of these mulchers. And I've been hoping for some, and there's a company out there developing some that's been in talks with me, but they need to get on that because I need some protection underneath this tractor. It is what it is, man. You get out and you do stuff like this, you know, you're gonna have stuff going up underneath your tractor. I've replaced 2 hydrostatic cooling fans on my Kubota, so it's not a problem unique to the TYM or running the Baumalight. It just is part of it. So if you have access to skid plates and protective plates, now'd be a good time to use them. I'm gonna see if I can't get enough of this off of my hands to get my phone out and call my son and have him come and get me. There's my rescue man. And he's looking at me like, what in the world are you doing running around without your shirt on out here? Did you bring me a shirt?
Do you need your shirt?
Yes, please. I'm staying behind the camera. He brought me
a MacMax shirt.
Hold on, hold it out. MacMax. Oh, don't forget to use discount code Lucas 5% off. Thanks for the lift, bro. Goodness gracious, about to bust my shocks. I mean, you get out working in sticks and stuff like that, the things are gonna happen. I mean, just ask Caden. What happened to you?
It's about to blow my hydraulic cord.
What? Oh, you blowed out your Crocs, man. Tough environment we're working in here, boys. Thanks for the help, Caden. All right, finish this up. Probably take me 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna head down and eat some supper. I'm out of water anyway. I had just enough hydraulic fluid to get it to show in the glass, so that ought to take care of me. He's a little squirrely, but he'll get there. He's probably as hard on equipment as I am. All right, guys, I'm gonna take you on a quick tour through the trail and show you what we accomplished. I'm pretty happy with it. I probably need to bring like my pole saw and stuff up here and clean up overhead branches, but otherwise, I think we're just about ready for traffic. Probably take out these two trees on the right here, and I'm not going to do that with the mulcher. I'll take those out with a chainsaw. Maybe those two little ones right there. So this is about 700 feet of trail, give or take. And keep in mind, I couldn't take the Kubota PX through there when I started this. And now I'm driving the TYM 4820 through there. About like a highway. Okay, maybe a Kentucky highway, but still, it's gonna work. No business doing this tonight. This was not on the agenda. I got going with the mulcher, and this is where I ended up. This is not even the trail I intended to mulch. But as I started driving, I thought, man, I've been wanting to cut that trail through there. Let's just do it. That'll be fun. One more thing I got to show you real quick that's really cool about this trail. When I was first cutting the small trail through here, I found something. I had a neighbor one time tell me that, ooh, that's a big old spider web. I had a neighbor one time tell me a story that way back in the day, one of the most productive moonshine stills in Kentucky was on this property right here. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know is I found this. I don't know nothing about moonshining. I don't know if this is anything authentic or if this is just somebody's, family heirloom they've thrown out here in the woods. But I thought it was interesting that I had that story about this property, and then this is what I found out in the woods. So I keep it here on this little stump next to the trail here just because I wanted to stay where I found it. So I did not get to running the string trimmer yet. I've got a lot more work and cleanup to do on the property, but this video is gonna get too long if I include all of that. So maybe come back next time and I'll cover some of that, and I'll tell you about my new weed eater and what I think about it on another episode. But for today, man, I am filthy. But for today, we're gonna call that good. And until next time, get outside and enjoy God's creation because it's beautiful out here. Get you some skid plates and undercarriage covers under your tractor.